The road to the Daytona 500 starts right now. A new racing season begins, and we are glad to bring you along for the ride tonight. The temperature for tonight is in the 60s, but these cars will get up to close to 200 miles an hour, and 24 of the best Sony Cup Series drivers will get set to take to the high banks of Daytona. Some Daytona 500 champions, Sony Shootout winners, and all pole winners from last season will get set and ready for the Shootout. 20 laps, 11th annual race. The starting lineup was set by a random draw. Jake Bassinger announced that this would be his final season. Drew Pohl, alongside Dylan Young, the 2020 Shootout winner and Season 10 Daytona 500 winner on the outside front row. Curtis Arndt, Davidson Mace, Acosta, James, drivers in different places. Ryan Acosta, last year's winner. We already went through him. Jacob Hart in the 61 for Team Velocity alongside Jesse Turner. Stephen Pollard III for Texan Motorsports, their full-time season. Pollard III alongside Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Schwellenberg, James Shelley, Chris Dodd, Alex Bignacco, Cody Lamas, Richard Johnson, Eric Damax, Dejon Weeks, Dom Capps, James Silverfox, Charles Sanford, and Luke Martin make up the 24-car grid. Me and Zach Rodgers will call the race for you as the race gets going. Zach, what do you expect for tonight's race? We had a lot of good racing last time we were here in Daytona. The top was where you wanted to be later on in the run.
Well, you know, it's an exhibition race, small field, 20 laps, very quick. Nothing really, big to worry about here. Just go out, win, have fun. Make all the crazy moves you want. It's short. Who cares if you tear up these race cars? Green flag's out, man. We're underway.
Now, this is the first time in a very long time that the FBRL is using restrictor plates for the Sony Cup Series cars. For a long time, we were going 220, 230 miles an hour, and even at Talladega, we were getting up to like 250 miles an hour. But now, the restrictor plates are on the race cars. We used restrictor plates at Talladega. So these guys do have a little experience with it, but new body modifications for the 2022 season. It's going to cause a rift, I would assume. Like, everyone's going to have to adapt to Daytona racing now.
Yeah, and when the thing with the slower speeds because of the restrictor plates is it takes more time to build up those runs, and at the same time, you've got more time to build up said runs. So it's going to be interesting how these drivers kind of plan out their lines and how they make their moves. As you see, Satan's already going to try and take this 3 wide.
This is Mercedes' first ever sort of race at all in the FBRL. It's a non-points event, expedition race, all for fun and bragging rights. Ryan Acosta, he's on the inside, pushing Davidson, looking nearly down to the inside of him, and he's the previous winner of this race. And for Mace Enterprises, in preseason testing, we're not that quick, but with the restrictor plates on these cars, anyone can go out here and win here at Daytona.
And with Mace Enterprises shutting down at the end of the year, it would be big for them to start off the season with an exhibition win, Acosta going back-to-back. That would be quite the statement to make heading into Speed Weeks.
They're 3x3 all the way back from Jake Bassinger. Bassinger in the 97 has led from the drop of the green flag, 2 laps in, 3 wide with the Mercedes up top.
And Baskinger's got to be careful here. He's starting to inch away. You don't want to inch away too much because then your momentum starts to die down and everybody else is going to swallow you up.
Man, I can only imagine what it's like already. Just you completed 2 laps, you're stuck in the middle, or you're stuck up top, or when you're all the way down at the bottom, you really have nowhere to go but just to follow the guy in front of you. It's really, Bassinger controlling the lines right now. Then it's Acosta. There's Jacob Hart there. Arndt and Davidson, they're the ones in the catbird seat as Rodriguez trying to get the inside of Hart with Shelley pushing.
You see they're starting to single it up here. Top 3 are single file. That's Baskinger leading still, Acosta second, and Jacob Hart third. Seeing Luke Martin struggle to keep up with the pack at the back of the field.
Yeah, Fisher Motorsports, they were proper slow at the end of last season, and right now, don't know if that's a strategy. I don't know why it would be. Fisher Motorsports, they have been off the pace in the Sony Cup Series in the last handful of races, and it looks like it's continuing into this season. Down the inside comes Ryan Acosta, side by side. Jacob Hart trying to push affiliate teammate of Jake Bassinger on top.
Man, talk about Fords working together. You got Chevy and Toyota on the bottom. And you see right now the top side, the momentum is just too big for the bottom to get out in front.
For Joseph Strigley Racing. Doing a well of a job, Jeff James is. Previous 500 winner. And DJ Curtis trying to push his way up through the middle there with Nick Mace behind him. Mace ducking out to the high side there. I'm not sure what line's the best groove. You know, the inside was working for a while. Now the outside is stacked up. Jacob Hart with a big push with Jeff James behind him. Shelley getting shoved to the middle line. Here comes Schwellenberg.
See Baskinger clear out in the lead. Now he's going to play both lines, top to bottom. He's going to mess with who gets out in front there for second, but it looks like Jacob has it right at the line.
And this team was going to have Scott Roush behind the wheel coming in this season, and just before our preseason inspection was complete, the team had to get a new driver. Jacob Hart, what a signing that team could have got at the last second. A two-time Daytona 500 champion, two-time series champion, and Hart hasn't been behind the wheel of a full-time gig in many years. And him running well at Daytona, not too surprising, but it sure has been a while. Schwellenberg, a previous winner at Daytona in the summer race, runner-up to DeMax in 2020 for the 500. He's coming to the front with a bunch of different 500 winners. All the 500 winners stacked up on the bottom. Schwellenberg is not a 500 winner, but it's Chris Dodd, Cody Lamas, Dob Caps, Charles Sanford, Eric DeMax, all of them on the bottom, coming to the front, 500 winners.
And you know, Dylan, it's his home track, and you know, an exhibition win here to start the year would be big, propel him into speed weeks. You know, Dylan knows what he's doing behind the wheel. He could be a big threat to win the 500 this year.
Ryan Acosta for Mace Enterprises is actually surprising to see Acosta with this National Guard Chevrolet running at the front and running this competitive. He's going to take the lead from Bassinger. Bassinger is led from the start. No challenge, really, but here comes Dylan Schwellenberg, going to give him a big push.
Don't look now, Noah, but here comes Cody Lamas, defending 500 winner on the inside line out of Curtis Racing.
Cody Lamas really played it patient for the Daytona 500 and made the moves when it counted at the very end. Lamas is hoping to go back-to-back. We haven't had a driver in the modern era since the 2015 season win more than 2 Daytona 500s. And, well, we do have a stacked lineup. Here comes Caps. He's won the season 11 and 2017 Daytona 500, or 2018 Daytona 500. He's coming to the inside as well.
He's got Charles Sanford there, I believe, in the 83, pushing him towards the front.
These guys are racing really passively for a 3 wide, honestly. Nobody's getting too ambitious, and as soon as I say that, here comes Sanford to the inside, nearly 4 wide.
Oh, it's going to be a 4 wide tight squeeze there. Curtis got the run on the top there off of turn 2.
They were bumping down the back straight away. Sanford wisely backed out of that. Sanford wisely backed out. Here comes Lamas to the inside.
Starting to see him single up again at the front. That's going to create those runs and leave Jake a sitting duck.
Dodd thought about it for a moment to go with Cody, but then he went up there with Jake Bassinger. Curtis is going to get behind one of his cars. You know, a family-owned car. His family owns that 48 car, so he did push it to the Daytona 500 win, even though Curtis wanted it for himself. He's looking to go 3 wide for the lead.
And a 3 wide move might be what it takes to get Jake Bassinger out of this race to lead. He has led every lap in this race, but man, that top side is just so strong.
Jake Bassinger, we're coming around to complete halfway in the race. Whenever he is challenged, he moves up to the top. And while we see some drivers that were up here at the front, like Dylan Schwellenberg, Jacob Hart, they're now at the very back because they were at the top and they fell all the way back there. But Bassinger's able to stay up here in the lead by running the top side. And Lamas,
tell you what,
side by side for the lead, still hanging in there.
I'll tell you what, I think if DJ Curtis could be the one leading there, actually, no, never mind. Cody's going to clear him off of turn 2. It finally happened.
Cody Lamas finally halfway in the race, able to take the lead away from Jake Bassinger. The pole sitter has led all the 10 laps so far. Now Curtis. Where did Alex Bignacco even come from? He's charging up through the middle. And Eric DeMax is there.
You got the whole pack right now under a blanket here, coming to what'll be 9 laps to go, with Cody and DJ even side by side. Oh, DJ almost cut himself off the nose of Charles Sanford there.
Pontiac and Mercedes. A lot of us were wondering, how are they going to fare in their Pontiac's comeback season in as many years? And Mercedes, this is the first time they're ever supplying engines in the FBRL. And DJ Curtis up top getting pushed by Lamas. He pushed Lamas to the lead, and now he's hoping that Lamas gives him that push to back up front. He clears Bignacco.
That's another 2 teams right there. You know, it might be an exhibition race, but what a statement to start the year with a new manufacturer, Mercedes or Pontiac. You know, that means something for them heading into Speed Weeks.
It's the only Pontiac in this race is Charles Sanford in the Red Bull. But here comes Eric DeMax. He started out back, same with the Monster Energy racing cars. And John Art, he started up front and quickly fell to the back. And he's coming to the front. The inside's kind of where you want to be, but that outside can get a hell of a run. Curtis off turn 4. The 8 laps to go. We'll get back to the stripe. The Monster Energy boys are really rolling the bottom. Young still able to hang up to the front, and he's been in the middle groove for as long as I can remember. Jacob Hart quickly diving it to the inside. That's where he thinks he needs to be. But Dejon Weeks to the inside of DeMax.
Power of M&Ms and Monster Energy, man. What a combination. I don't know if I will ever try those 2 things together at the same time, but it is helping Dejon Weeks get to the front of the field.
Man, that Red Bull just gave wings to the Tire Pros Chevrolet. Here comes DeMax with a big run on Curtis. Gonna sling it to the inside. Curtis has such a good car out front, able to pull that gap. DeMax had a run. He tried to take the lead, and he's only able to stall out to be right alongside of him. And the Monster Energy racing car alongside a Red Bull racing car. The energy drink battle still rages on in the Sony Shootout.
You know, I was expecting Baskinger to maybe be able to hold his own there, even though he got cleared all those laps ago, but he has just been stuck on the top, and car after car gets in front of him, and there's just nowhere for him to go, and it's where even side by side again for the lead between DeMax and Curtis.
Last season, the top side eventually kicked in. The inside's where you wanted to be in the first 10 laps, and then the top side eventually was the spot you wanted to be in. It's kind of been vice versa. The first 10 laps, Bassinger was able to hold his own up top. Now he's quickly going to the rear, and not what you want to do at this point in the race, as we're coming with 5 laps to go.
And even for the lead is Curtis and DeMax. I think this is the most even we've seen the top and the bottom be around the whole racetrack. They are practically dead even right now. Richard on the bottom, Dejon up on the top. Will anybody think 3 wide?
DeMax gets the run through the corners, but it's Curtis on the straightaways that powers back with that run, but Richard Johnson is tucked up behind the 0.
They are both trying to give it their all now as Dylan Young's going to peek in the middle, 3 wide behind the top 2. And now Dylan Curtis Young, with no immediate help on his back bumper.
Young continues to hold that middle groove. Weeks up top with Sanford getting a big push, some assists, but Sanford kind of messing Dejon Weeks up a little bit. That hurts the run for Curtis. And Richard Johnson peeking out front with the lead.
He's got help from John Arndt and Jeff James on the bottom, trying to push that 47 to the front.
Dead even, 3 cars into turn 3. As we get back to the line, it will be 3 laps to go. Curtis, DeMax, Johnson in the prime positions right now to get the push, to surge back out ahead. But Arndt, Young, and Weeks are hoping that their line clears, and they can get a big push to fight for the lead. But right now, when you're about 3 cars back in that line, when you're like Jeff James or Zayden Davidson or Sanford, you have nowhere to go but to push the guy in front of you.
Yeah, there is nowhere to go right now. If DeMax pulls up in front of Curtis, though, that'll open the hole for, I believe, Arndt on the bottom. Actually, no, Dylan Young in the middle will have the hole open up for him.
Young
as Richard
has a
holds
big
the bottom.
run. Young, oh, but DeMax is still clear. He was able to block both Curtis and Young. Arndt not really giving a big shove to the 47. 2 laps to go at the stripe. DeMax has a really big lead here.
Oh, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, you know. Just want to say, though, up front, the top 3 right now, none of these drivers won a race last season. And while it might be an exhibition win, it would be something for them to start the year off with a W.
Jeff James and John Arndt on the bottom. We haven't even talked about the series champion of Jesse Turner in this race, and there he is trying to claw his way to the front, but it may be too little too late for him. Top 5 are breaking away here.
I think it comes down to the top 5 right now. You see Satan's getting a huge run. He's peaking 3 wide.
I don't think that's a good move there by Davidson. 3 wide for second. Davidson has to back out of that. The white flag flying for DeMax.
It's got to be Dylan Young or Johnson got to get tucked up behind the 0 here and get a run going, or it's game over already.
Weeks diving it to the middle. Mace tried to cross over on Arndt. Arndt wasn't having it. Young, Johnson, who is going to prevail, and can they challenge Eric DeMax? Weeks trying to give one last push to Dylan Young down the back straightaway. Young has the run into turn 3.
Oh, this is huge. Young got clear of Richard. If he's going to make the move, he's got to make it now.
He's going to make a move to the inside, trying to draw even with Eric DeMax. Back to the start-finish line. DeMax, Young, DeMax is going to get it to the line. Eric DeMax and CM Racing's relationship starts off with a win in the Sony Shootout. Eric DeMax holds him at bay, and what a strong performance he had in the last 5 laps, able to clear DJ Curtis. In a thrilling battle he had side by side with him for a handful of laps, finally got clear and was able to hold off every challenge. Young threw everything at him, but just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I just don't think he timed the move correctly there. It was right off the corner. There was a little bit of hesitation, and he just didn't have any help. I think if you put another car behind the 16 and make that move, you're looking at passing the 0, but he couldn't even hold next to him and into the tri-oval.
Looking at that top 5, Dejon Weeks, usually pretty good on the super speedways. He came up to 3rd. Richard Johnson there in 5th. The Monster Energy Racing cars, they didn't come up there till the very last moment. And Jake Bassinger led half of the race. And he didn't even finish in the top 10. But Eric DeMax, he also started out back and was able to get up to the front. Thrilling race there at the finish. He was able to hold off and solidify it. Just Dylan Young, I think like you mentioned it, just wasn't able to, didn't play it out correctly off turn 4. Didn't have the run soon enough.
And hey, that is just information learned for the dual races and for the 500. You know, if you're in that position, again, maybe make the move sooner. Try and set yourself up sooner to get in that position. But I think Dylan and Richard were just side by side too long for either of them to get a good shot at making a move on the max.
And with this new package for the Sony Cup Series cars, the restrictor plates, man, like what kind of, that racing right there is what we're probably going to see for the rest of Speed Weeks. And 3 wide like that, I wonder what it's going to be like to even race it their way into the duels. And then the Daytona 500. Man, I am super excited about Speed Weeks.
Hey, I'd say it's anybody's game. You know, we saw Hayden Klein get the win for Roush Family Racing last summer at this track. I think it's anybody's chance to win this Daytona 500 this year.
All right, and that's everything. We'll see you next time for the Daytona 500 qualifying next.